Spirit and soul, where Atlanta's service industry unpacks raw and provocative truths, share hilarious commentary about their unique industry experiences.
That's the true story.
We're going to take a big gulp and address some of these issues. Are we ready?
The juice is flowing. Look, you know how to run a podcast if you make me take a shot before we talk about tipping.
All right, so we're going to talk about tipping. So we already declared the industry standard, or have we really declared the industry standard? What is the industry standard for tipping?
Well, the industry would tell you it's 18%.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, most...
Why did I think it was 20?
Well, that's what we want. And some I mean, it's a mixed bag.
This is catching me off guard.
Because if you go to some nightclubs that I've worked at where they auto-grad, it's 15%. But then if you go to some of the restaurants around the city or anywhere, really, you know, that have the whole clause, a party of 6 or more, blah, 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 blah. It ranges from 18 to 20 on those things right there. So, but my personal starts at 25. And
no, that's the first I'm hearing of the 25.
I mean, no, I'm sorry. It starts at 20. I'm sorry.
I'm like, I've never heard the 25.
It starts at 20. And I say that's with me personally because I'm a huge over tipper. Don't get me to come see you at your spot because I just said that. But I'm a huge over tipper. Me personally, because I have so much respect for the industry, you can give me the worst service ever. I'm still going to give you 20%. I might give you pull out the calculator, give you 20%, but you're still going to get your 20% from me. So that means it can only go up from there with me. And I think that since I feel that way and I do those things, since I'm pretty decent at my job, I shouldn't expect nothing less. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I would say 20% is, right there.
Okay. I think the industry standard is 20% as well. And I tip, I'm not going to say listen, if my service is horrible, and that's the service, not my experience, I'm not going to account for things that were out of the control of the person serving me.
They're not cooking.
Right. They're not cooking. They're not the one, seating me. They're not the one, if I'm at a table, they're not the one who made my drink, so my tip can't be based on that. It's only based on the person I'm interacting with, how attentive they were, and how customer friendly they were, and are they on it? That's really it. And sometimes I sit there and I judge, and I'm like, they're being fake. I can tell they're being fake. I don't like it. I can tell. It's almost like when you're watching a movie and you can tell they're acting. You're like, I can see them acting, and I'm like, even when I can tell, I'm just like, I still gotta tip them 20%. But I wish I could tell. I wish I could see them not acting. I wish they genuinely cared about my experience. But you could just tell sometimes they don't. But it doesn't matter. They still do the ABC. It's steps. It's steps to this. So if you just do the steps of service, 20%, period. But there are people who really feel like tipping is an option, that it's not a requirement. And there are people that think that it's not 20%, that it's 15%. And those people that think it's 15% kill me because they think it's 50%, 15% everywhere, and I'm like, when did this fit? I guess my next question is, when did it change from 15 to 18 to 20? You're a little older than me, so like maybe you can help me identify this. When did this, if you had to...
I honestly can't say because, I got in the industry late.
Okay.
I'm as old as I am now, but I didn't get into the industry until I was 31.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really don't know when that changed. And I really didn't even pay attention to it until I got in the industry.
Okay. Well, then that's another question.
Here we go.
You said that you don't... Who taught you how to tip? Who taught you how to... Who taught you how to tip? When did you learn how to tip? When you were in the industry?
No, I would say I learned a little bit before that. But I can say before I got in the industry, I was usually still just a 25% guy.
You were before you got in the industry.
Before I got in the industry.
And what made you be that? Like, what influences that did you have?
I can't remember if it was a bartender cursing me out one time, or maybe it may have been my ex-wife seen me tip one time and was like, "That's it." You know what I'm saying? But there was definitely a defining moment where I was like, because I can remember back in the day. When I say back in the day, I'm 01.
Okay.
Maybe not even 01. Maybe just no. It was 01. It was 2000 actually.
Okay.
I was at the Cheesecake Factory on Peachtree Street.
Good old Cheesecake Factory.
Yes.
That one's not even there anymore.
I know it's not even there anymore, but I wanted to ball out, so I grabbed two of my cousins, one of their husbands, and two of my friends. I was like, let's go to the Cheesecake Factory. Y'all order whatever y'all want. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you were on that.
I probably had like $1,500 in cash. It was a good day. I had like $1,500 in cash in my pocket. And seen some girls at the next table, like, yo, what y'all want? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got bottles of Moet. At the Cheesecake Factory, they're only $75. You know what I'm saying? So, got bottles of Moet, blah, 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 blah. And the check came. And I remember thinking that I did a good job tipping. I remember this night, crazy, vivid. Thinking that I did.
What did you tip?
I left.
What was your tab?
My tab was $750.
Okay, 20% of that. Guys, this is what you should always do. You said it was 700 what?
750.
750. This is what you do, guys. You pull out your calculator, you put in your total, and then you hit plus 20%. Should have been a $150 tip, guys. You always pull out your calculator. Don't be ashamed. I still do it. Just pull the calculator out. What did you tip? Was it this?
I tipped 75.
Half that.
Half that. And I'll tell you what. To this day, I regret that. I wish that server would run up on me today.
Do you remember what they look like?
Nope.
Damn.
So this is a chance for anybody to get a free $75.
It was me. It was me.
If you run up on me today, there's a couple of details of the night you gotta express to me to make me know that it's really you. I got $100 for you. I'm sorry. I am super sorry.
This was in 2001.
It's 2000.
2000.
Yeah, 22 years ago.
Whoa. And you still remember it. It
I
stuck
do.
with you.
That, you know, and I mean, when I got into the industry, I went back to that moment and I was like, fuck. Like, that's not me. You know what I'm saying? And
I just didn't know.
I feel like it's a lot of us, though.
Yeah.
And when I say us, I just mean our community, our people. Just like we don't have financial training classes in school.
Yeah.
Our parents don't, tell us, hey, you need to tip. Now, unfortunately, my kids, I'm in the industry. So when my son came to me in high school talking about he wanted to go to Applebee's with his friends after a football game and he needed money, and I said, well, what are you going to get? He was like, no, I said, how much money do you need? And he was like, oh, $20. And I was like, well, what are you going to get? And he was like, well, I'm going to buy me and my girlfriend a 2 for $20. And I was like, okay,
tax
so
first.
you didn't, what about taxes? And he was like, oh, I was like, yeah, you got to pay tax. So he was like, I guess $25. And I was like, okay, are you going to have drinks? Because the 2 for $20 is just the food. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a drink. You can get some Coke, Sprites. That's another $5, $6. He was like, I don't know, Dad. I was like, and then we got to talk about a tip. You got to tip on that.
Break
you know what I'm
it down for them.
And I literally gave him $50. And I said, do not leave the restaurant with any more money. I don't give a damn if your bill is only $26, $27, $30. You leave that server this whole $50 because I'm pretty sure that your friend's parents.
That is how you raise. Repeat. That is how you raise children. That is what you do. Give them more than enough and tell them, hey, this is dedicated to the establishment that you're going to, period.
Right.
Don't use it on no extra shit. And if I find out, Cash App it or something. Like, find a way to like track it. Like
Yeah.
I saw that payment come through. Like that's key actually.
Oh, and see, and that's honestly why I felt my daughter, you know, say on the same. I didn't have to do that with her. She actually, her first job was in the industry, you know, in a fast food restaurant. But they still, it was one of the, it was a pizza place where they can still get tipped.
Mm-hmm.
So she learned the value of tipping, you know what I'm saying, a couple years ago. And like her nail tech, you know, my daughter gets her nails done probably weekly. Her nail tech is like, here's my home number. If you, because my daughter tips so well, her nails probably cost $80. She tips $40. You know what I'm saying? So
I can't even afford that.
so you know what I'm saying? The nail tech is like, here's my home number. Even if I'm not at work, you call me. I'll come in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
And see, and I think that when you get to that level, once people understand that, you gotta pay to play. You gotta play to pay. You gotta pay to play in any game that you're in. You know what I'm saying? If you want to learn how to do this trade or you want to do that trade, you gotta go to college. You gotta go do this. You gotta pay to play. So if you want to be, I may be jumping ahead.
No, it's fine.
You know what I'm saying? But if you want to be the man or that chick, you gotta come with that bread. You know what I'm saying? Because
period.
if you want me to shout your name when you walk in the door, you got to give me a reason. We're not friends. You come to Tin Lizzy's and see me when you want to come to Tin Lizzy's. You don't call me when I'm at home to check and make sure I'm okay. You know, we're acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to be the man, just like you're spending $400 for a bottle at a club, at a table, and you're tipping that bottle girl, you got to come with that same energy to the bar. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want regular service, you can give a regular tip. If you want that exponential, yo, hold up everybody, chill. My man, what's going on?
You want priority service?
You gotta drop that bread off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, I mean, I'm glad my kids learned it at an early age so they don't have to, you know, my kids are going to be the one person at the table when they go out with their friends, like, make my bill separate. So I can tip you because I don't know what they going to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you just don't know.
Yeah.
So when do you feel like the industry standard 20% should be deducted? Like, have you ever tipped less? I know we've already declared, you said no matter what, you're going to tip 20%. But for our listeners who are definitely like, I'm tipping 20% and then I'm cutting into it when my service isn't that great, what do you think are those things that are qualified to meet that? You know, like,
I think it would probably be, you know, just not getting any type of service. I mean, at all. Like, there's different levels of it. Like, I know a lot of times people think, oh, my server ain't shit or my bartender ain't shit because they're not attentive to what my needs are. But you don't know. You're not the only person there. You know what I'm saying? They can't concentrate. Sometimes they cannot just concentrate on you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the bar is wrapped. Sometimes that server has 8 tables and they have to be an order taker because I can't spend 20 minutes with you. I can't spend 30 minutes with you. I have 8 other tables that, you know what I'm saying? So, but if you see that you're not being taken care of properly, but this person has enough time to send this text message, or they're over there standing talking with their friends, or, you know, they come back to your table smelling like weed because they took a weed break and I couldn't get a refill on my water, then, okay. I guess you got to start backing away. So, I mean, not that I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like you can start backing away at that point. But, like I think we were talking about in the break, it's not... Your food is not the server's fault unless they put it in wrong. I mean, but you, as a customer, you kind of don't know that if they put it in wrong.
Because they could easily lie.
Right.
Say,
If
the kitchen messed this up.
If you ordered shrimp pasta and got steak, you know, they might have put it in wrong. But the seating, you know what I'm saying? How long it takes for you to get set is not the server's responsibility. Like I said, the kitchen, the cleanliness of the restrooms, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the things like that, which a lot of customers aren't privy to.
It took too long for my food to come out. Or my food came out wrong. Sometimes, like that sometimes has nothing to do with the person that put it in. So it sounds like what I think we're both saying is being observant. You just have to be observant. And this go in knowing tip 20%. Now, if you're trying to tip less because you cheat, just be observant now.
Right.
Be observant and accurate. Okay, at what you observed.
But I will tell you this, like, I mean, you might think that they don't, but people know. People know you, especially when you're a regular. They know when you're not tipping well. And then, to be honest, if they see you at the door and they know you don't tip well,
they be like,
they run away.
They be like, not me.
Nah, I don't want that table.
Tag
I don't want that table at all.
And they rotate that. They will rotate that and say, not me, that's somebody else. And they'll be fighting for like whose table it is because they don't want to be that table. And bartender too.
And I mean, I know everybody wants to come out, have a good time, be served, or you know what I'm saying, have great conversation and all that stuff. But honestly, if I can't tip, I can't come out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm not going to sit at your bar and drink water just because I want to be out the house. I'm going to go sit at the park. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. I cannot go out if I can't do what's supposed to be done. Mm-hmm. You know.
Are you the type to gauge your service based on what you think you'll make in tip, or do you start everyone out on the same playing field? No,
I start everyone out on the same playing field. Same. Like, yeah. I mean, now you do have your people who, and this is one thing that I do, and I'm sorry if it strays off the point, but I like to tell people this story because it kind of helps you know what you need to do. Like, when Midtown Jay goes to any club, it's not just because he's Midtown Jay that he could just walk in the front door or the bartender stops what they're doing and gets what they're doing. Like, even in the industry, and I know these people, I hang out with these people, I still tip these people. I tip security. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bit much, but if I'm going somewhere and I know this guy is responsible for me getting into any shit in this club, I'm pretty sure when the situation arises, you're going to get kicked out before me. I tip my security. I tip the door girl. Tip the bartenders. You know what I'm saying? The bathroom guy. The bathroom guy gets a dub from me. And I don't even smoke cigarettes.
Do you know, I would love to have someone on the podcast that's a bathroom tenant. And I just don't know anyone personally, though.
I got you.
I would
and he's
love
great.
to
and he's
talk
at a
to
lot
those
of spots,
people.
too.
Oh, my gosh. Okay,
you.
Let's have that connect afterwards.
But what I like to do is, if you want that type of level of service, you want to be taken care of, and if this happens when I go to places that don't know me or I've never been, I will literally walk up to the bar, pull out my wallet, and be like, hey, what can I get you? And I'll be slap a 20 down on, not slap it, but put a 20 down on the bar, and I say, hey, that's for you. Put that in your tip bucket. Mm-hmm. Now, with this credit card, start me a tab, and I'll have a Jack and Coke. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That lets the bartender know, whoa. Not that he needs to pay special attention to me, but...
But it is.
Yeah, but you know, if you want that level of service, those are the type of things that you have to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
money talks.
So when I'm bartending, I don't expect... You know what I'm saying? Any tip from anybody, you know what I'm saying? I go with the flow. I don't treat anybody better than anybody. I mean, unless it's my friends or somebody that I know or whatever, but...
Or a regular that comes in consistently and
exactly.
is pretty shitty of a person. And
well, that too.
You have those.
Yes,
let's admit that. We do have regulars that, like, consistently don't tip. And it's like, well, who's going to deal with them today? Because it's not me. I don't have the patience. Or, you know, you pass them off. Take turns. It's your turn. I dealt with them last time. They don't tip. They're drunk. They're crazy.
We got to kick them out. They always want to stay past last call. You know.
They're being obnoxious. So.
Yeah.
You do have those. So
that's what I do if I want that level of service. I mean, you know, I tip first, pay later. And then, you know, and the next time I come in, I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's automatically like I walk in the door. I mean, I could walk into Buffalo Wild Wings, which is one of my favorite fast foods. I'm the fast food chain restaurant king.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So I could walk into Buffalo Wild Wings and they would be like, yo, Jay, what's up, bro?
Is Buffalo Wild Wings even chicken? Like,
I don't eat there. Just drink and watch games.
Okay, I'll take that.
But Red Lobster. They know me at the Red Lobster on Candler Road.
Oh. You like those biscuits. Those biscuits are actually really great.
Well, you know I was telling you about driving trucks?
Yeah.
I delivered bread for 20 years.
Okay.
I hate the taste of bread. It makes me feel like I'm at work. I don't eat bread.
Interesting. You don't eat sandwiches, burgers?
If I do, I get a lettuce wrap.
Quesadillas? You eat tacos.
Yeah, I eat tacos.
Okay,
but just like sandwich bread, like hot dog buns, like I still... just eat the hot dog, even if it's on a fork.
And you don't do that because you ate too much bread during those periods?
I probably did.
Oh.
Like I used to ride around with a in my passenger seat.
A loaf of bread?
Well, if it was cinnamon raisin bread, yeah. But
Oh.
usually like Danishes or honey buns or some stuff like that.
Really?
And just eat a case of them all. I don't know how I'm skinny.
I was like that with pancakes for a while. I grew up eating breakfast for dinner often. And I was like, Mom, I can't eat another fucking pancake. I'm done. Pancake and Doritos. I can't do Doritos. I've had them too much in my
I
childhood.
brought Doritos today.
I had them too much in my childhood. I cannot.
So yeah.
Anywho, okay. Okay, last question about tipping. So, what do you feel like is the appropriate tip for takeout? So, when you're ordering something from a restaurant and you're placing an order, you're coming to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
This is a restaurant. Let's give two different scenarios. It's a traditional restaurant that also serves people at tables that you're picking up food from, and then there's restaurants that are like
burger joints.
McDonald's. Like what is it? Burger Fi, not Burger Fi. Burger Fi is one, but it's another burger one. Anywho, where you just go in and you're
Five Guys.
Five Guys. What are you tipping in those scenarios?
Okay, so me, if I see a tip jar, I'm still going to do my 20%.
Really?
But that actually is a great question.
And pizza delivery too.
Yeah, 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 20% all across the board.
Okay.
I've had this conversation years ago at Tin Lizzie's, like when people just rush to the bar. Where's my to-go food? Da, 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 da. I feel like 10% on sit-down eat restaurants, to-go 10% for anybody else.
Okay.
Now, you have restaurants, well, not restaurants, but fast food joints like Taco Bell or McDonald's, Burger King, what have you. It's actually against the rules for them to take a tip. Mm-hmm. So, in that case, I understand. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to get you in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But if there's a place that accepts tipping, 10% at the minimum for a to-go order.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. I thought you were going to say something more, and I was just like, well, I'm guilty because when I'm ordering takeout, I am not giving them 20%. I'm sorry. You get minimum wage. Unlike people in the service industry, they get $2.13 an hour. They don't even see that. Yeah. So I can tell clearly this tip is doing more. But if I'm at a takeout place, I'm like, what? Since when does the place I pick up sushi that doesn't have tables asking for tip? I don't know.
I think you get to go sushi?
It depends on where I'm at. I mean, there's places where it's like they're set up in a more like lunch style. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like it's not really set up for you to like. You can eat lunch there, but if you're going after lunch and it's like clearly I'm not about to eat it here, I'm just picking it up and taking it go. What am I really expected to tip?
Yeah.
And I question myself every time. I'm always like,
I say tip.
Am I really supposed to tip you? You're getting paid minimum wage. Why am I tipping you more?
I mean, I even tip my Uber
so he
Eats
just
orders.
Okay. So I don't know if he's the best person because he doesn't be tipping everybody. I'm probably gonna get a tip after the end of this conversation. 20% because you were good.
I got you.
I'm done. I can't. But okay.
We'll see what Daddy got in his bag.
Right, like literally. Okay. So 10% takeout. Okay, let's get more into more bar etiquette questions. Mm-hmm. Before you started working in the industry, how did you learn how to conduct yourself at a bar? Was it really just you went and you figured it out as you went, or did somebody say, "Hey, when you go to the bar, do this, do that"? Like,
well, my mom owned clubs.
Oh wow!
So
really?
I was kind of around the industry, like. I would throw parties, mm-hmm. but I never like got into like the bar or anything like that. So just I've been sitting at bars for a lot longer than I was supposed to.
Okay.
So bar etiquette came kind of easy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? With me because, I couldn't go into my mom's bar mm-hmm. and act a fool. So, mm-hmm. I just knew I couldn't act a fool in any bar. Mm-hmm. Like I'm totally of the Drake notion. Why you gotta argue with me? Why you gotta argue at me at Cheesecake? I love to go there. Like I don't like causing scenes. That's my biggest thing. I just don't cause scenes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I think I was pretty well on into it from at least 12, 13.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, my first experience was when I started working in the industry, which was 20. Before then, I did not know, which is why I made a point to have that disclaimer at the beginning, which is like, where do people learn this stuff? Because what about those parents or, you grow up in homes where people don't drink. You know, your parents don't drink, so they're not like, oh, so when you go out, do this. Some parents don't know that because they're not out there going to bars and, you know, frequenting restaurants. They cook every night, you know.
I honestly feel like bar etiquette is common sense.
Is
honestly,
you would think, but then like the fact that people just still don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that may go with that servitude thing that I was telling you about. It's just like, hey, let me just treat you any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's common sense. Like, I wouldn't want to do anything at a bar that would have me embarrassed or would embarrass anybody else. Either. So I don't know. I think it's pretty, you know. But I think most bar restaurants, they'll let you know what is expected of you as a customer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's my question. My next question: do you feel like it's solely up to the bartender to give them the education? Should it be solely up to the bartender? And that's my issue.
It probably should not.
We don't have enough time to be educating these people, serving these people, giving great customer service skills, being this mixologist. That's a lot of things to juggle all at once.
It is. But it comes with the life.
And are they retaining what, you know what I'm saying? Are they even retaining what I'm trying to tell them? They're drunk now.
Most of them, I think, retain it because they'll tell the story later on to their friends. Remember that time I got kicked out of 10 Lizzie's?
They think it's cool.
Right, but they won't come in there and do it again. You know.
But why does it take all that? I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to find a way to avoid that.
Well, you have places that try to instill it in the customers while they're reading the menu. I mean, i.e. the Vortex. If you go in the Vortex and read their menu, it's basically telling you, we not going for that shit here.
Yeah.
So don't even come with it. You know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, I feel like it's up to the bartender. It's just like second nature,
though. That's
not
fair to me. That's really not. I mean, that's me being complete. That's not fair.
Yeah, but who else is going to do it?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, where else can people find this information that they're going to be receptive enough to actually take time to actually receive it?
I mean, I've seen
in the moment.
I've seen 60-year-old uneducated bar people. So I mean, it can be a learned thing. Or it can be a taught thing, but whether or not they're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times somebody's done some loud talking or rah-rah screaming at you and da-da-da-da-da. I mean, in white tablecloth restaurant. And then when you confront them about it, they be like, oh, man, that's just how I am, man. I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? You're older now. This is just how I am is not an excuse. That's, you know, so.
Okay. Well, that's all we have on tipping. I mean, you've given a lot to digest based on your experience, and also like some things it's just kind of it is what it is. I guess it's just us who has to tell you. So this is us telling you
until her book is done.
Until the book is done, or you listen to more podcast episodes. So the next segment that we're going to do is going to be on conduct and behavior and best practices. So we are going to take a quick break and then get back into that. Okay, we're going to get into more conduct and behavior and best practices. So I'm going to cut to the chase. What makes you prioritize one guest over another when it comes to, I guess, their behaviors and what you're observing before you interact with them? Because it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Well, my number one thing is patience. If you're patient in a busy situation, to me, that says two things to me. One, that you're a good person. And two, you understand what's going on. But actually, there's three. I'm sorry. The third thing is the patient people actually know what they want. You know what I'm saying? So if I see somebody that there's chaos going on and they're just sitting there like this.
That's actually very true. They're just ready to say, I want da-da-da-da-da. Okay.
When you finally get to them, be like, hey, thank you so much for being patient. What can I get for you, my brother? I'll have a Jack and Coke, fried pickles, and a couple chicken tacos. Cool, I got you, brother. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that speaks volumes.
It
That,
says, I'm ready.
hey, no, I was here first. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've asked our audience what questions they had, and one of them said they didn't know what they wanted to know. You know, what you guys thought, what we thought of that. Like, is that okay? They feel weird doing it, but what is that? Is that okay? That, well, clearly it's not. You know, but
I see.
What's the opinion on that?
What with the hey?
And being that it's competing, they felt like it's competing with other
right.
people, and so they're like, don't get to them before they was doing. Actually, they cut me. What's your response?
Oh no, go ahead.
My response is, I saw who was here first, despite the movements and the extraness. I peeped.
Right.
I just have to act like I didn't peep because it's part of the game. It's just, I'm just like observant. It's like the other day. What was it today? I was like walking past someone who was staring at me, but I didn't want them to know that I knew that they were staring at me. So I was like it's kind of like that where you're like, I see you looking,
right. I see you looking at me. I can feel the heat.
Yeah, I know what's going on around me, but yeah.
Well, you know, of course, nobody likes to be screamed at. I mean, if you do, that's a weird fixation that I don't know what to tell you there. But, you know, I tell people all the time, and, you know, this is one thing I like about bartending in nightclub venues, other than restaurants and sports bars, is because you have a little bit more leeway to say actually how you feel in the moment. Mm-hmm. Because, for one, you got security. For two, it's a loud environment. You know, your bosses usually can't hear you saying whatever you're saying to said customer. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have a little bit more leeway. So
you do. If
you're like, hey, at a restaurant, you're going to look like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody in the restaurant is going to look around and you're like, what is his problem? What is her problem? Mm-hmm, you know, somebody get her out of here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But at a nightclub, everybody's doing it. So like I said, you have a little bit more leeway. So that's when I'm doing something and it's the, hey, I'll look at you and I say, you're going to make me ignore you longer. And they'll be like, and then they turn into patient guy. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But then I think that, you know, I mean, they have the reasons why they're doing it. Like you said, it's a competition with other customers, which can quickly turn into, what's the word that I'm looking for? Admonishment to you. Mm-hmm. Because if you pick the wrong person and they're competing against each other. They just going at each other. As long as you don't say nothing to either one of them, they're still going at each other. But once you choose whoever you're going to first, I was here first. Then all of it is on you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So those situations are tricky. Yeah. So if you just be this guy and don't move, because you think...
Give that undeniable eye contact. Give you that eye contact that follows. You don't say nothing and you got this little smirk on your face like...
That's cool. If I just see you just being patient, waiting your turn, 9 times out of 10, you're next. You know what I'm saying? But don't do this. Oh, no, dog. You know what I'm saying? What's up, man? If you dapping up somebody, sorry, bro. You missed your turn. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that's your homeboy.
This is important information. I hope y'all listening.
I know that's your homeboy or your homegirl that you ain't seen in 2 hours. Because y'all came at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I know.
Y'all playing this outing together, so quit
Right.
acting like...
I know y'all was just sitting at the same table with each other. But why did you come to the bar? You want alcohol. Who controls the alcohol? Me. Pay attention to me. They gonna be there because they waiting on you to buy them drinks. Pay attention to me. And I will let you know when it's your turn. You can't let me know when it's your turn. I'll let you know when it's your turn. And like I tell people all the time, I'm not here by myself. There's other bartenders down there. You know what I'm saying? But I want you. Okay, well then wait. You know what I'm saying?
This eye contact is giving me like some old school Disney Channel movie. Okay.
It's like that old saying, let them wait.
But you know, the best advice I received when I first started bartending, because like you, I worked my way up. I started as a server, worked for like 6 months, and then they were scrambling because a bartender quit or something. They're like, can you do it? You're like one of the best. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I was trying to act like it wasn't a big deal, but and so I was just like, hey, moving on up.
Right,
you know?
right.
And so I remember, I don't know if you remember him at all, if you know him at all. You know a guy named Ezra?
It sounds familiar. Excuse me. It sounds familiar.
Okay. He was one of like...
Where? Where was this?
Midtown, Hudson Midtown. He's been in Midtown for a while. I don't think he's definitely
Sounds
not
familiar.
in Midtown. But anywho, I just remember him saying, listen, you're a bartender now. As a server, you had to wait on people. You waited on them. But as a bartender, they wait on you.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, it changes now. So don't freak yourself out. Don't have anxiety. Don't, worry about all these people in front of you trying to get your attention. They're waiting on you.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to wait. They just want this alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the only one who has it.
Exactly.
The ball's in your court. And I was just like, I will never forget it. I literally never forget it. So I sometimes I'm working with people, they're like, you're so calm. I'm like, because they want me.
They got two choices.
I'm in demand at this point. So I'm going to take my time and work at my pace. They're not about to drive me crazy. Because, I've worked with some people who's like really busy. They get so flustered. They start crying. Crying.
I've worked with those people.
They're in the back like throwing shit, pissed off, because, they just can't pull it together. But it's just like, you got to keep in mind, you're in demand.
Yeah.
You're in demand.
You can either wait on me or be sober. It's your choice.
And
you left the house.
And you don't want to be sober.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not saying those things to be assholes. It's
Yeah.
just how it is.
No, it really is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you owned a car rental company and your car is rented out and then you got 20 people in your face, I need a car. It's rented out. You got to wait. Sorry.
There's nothing else I can do.
There's nothing else I can
Yeah.
do. I can't make your drink, his drink, and her drink at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can you describe your first bar experience when you were, of age to drink at a bar, what that was like for you? And if you, it sounds like because of your upbringing and your mom, you
it happened way before I was of age. I mean, I was inside the 559 at 14.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah.
You have a unique situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
very. I'm trying to think. I mean, my 21st birthday party was actually at the warehouse on Marietta Street. I think it's been torn down now, but
I don't know what that is.
It was a nightclub. It was a popular, nightclub back in the late 90s when I turned 21.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can remember being in there, but I was already cool with the bartenders.
Yeah.
I was already cool with the owners.
Mm-hmm.
I had been already there doing my thing before then. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I ordered a case of Moet. They weren't selling bottles of liquor like that back then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you could get like bottles of champagne, but nobody was going around buying bottles of Jack Daniels. You were still getting that by the drink or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had like a case of Moet and just did a few shots, and yeah, that was a fun 21st birthday. Wow. Now my second 21st birthday, no, I'm just kidding.
Second?
No, I'm just kidding. Every day is like my birthday.
Where do you feel like people are getting their influences from as to how they carry themselves at a bar? And do you feel like those things are accurate, and are they working?
I would probably just say, from the people that they hang around with. So they're kind of just feeding off each other. I mean, I don't know where they're starting.
So hang around better people?
Yeah, hang around better people. Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, if you ever see any bar scene or anything on TV, which TV teaches a lot of people a lot of things.
So you think a lot of it's coming from media?
Well, if it does come from media, it just shows it being rowdy. So it's like, let me just go in there and be rowdy too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Which is not actually, I mean, it is like that, but that's not what, we want.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying? So.
You know what I notice a lot? I feel like, and I don't know if this is just me being extra, because I can be a bit extra. I feel like a lot of times I hate to see how often alcohol is used to solve problems. Like, I see, it's like, it doesn't matter what you're watching. It's like, oh, this happened, let me have a drink. Oh, this happened, let me have a drink. What are we really teaching people? You know what I'm saying? Not to say you can't do that. Clearly, I'm not saying that. My whole career is based on drinking, so I'm not saying that. But to see it on TV, show it, it's like it. I don't know. I observe that a lot, and I'm like, what are you really insinuating? Because it's like,
I'm really glad you brought that up.
Okay, it's not just me who notices that.
No,
okay.
not at all. Alcohol has never solved a problem, but for one entity and one entity only. And that's the people who make it, because it makes them rich. Nobody has ever had a better day by consuming a drink, because it may seem better in the moment, but the next day when you wake up hungover and you lose half a day, it didn't solve anything.
Or
because
3.
Right. But you still have that problem. No, you've never got fired from a job, went to a bar and drowned your sorrows in alcohol, and your boss called you the next day and said, you know what? Because you had 2 drinks yesterday, come on back. We got a spot for you. You know what I'm saying? It is the epitome of kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I really do hate to see it. I'm not going to lie. Every time I see that when I'm watching something, it doesn't matter how great the show is. I'm like, why do they keep insinuating like this is the thing to do when you're stressed out or like...
Because it makes the time pass. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's why people do it.
Sometimes it doesn't even make sense to the scene sometimes. I'm like, the person clearly, this isn't even their lifestyle. I'm so stressed. And I'm like, God, can we use another scenario? Why is it always that?
What would be the alternative, though?
I don't know. Get creative. Everyone in the industry, the film industry, y'all are creatives. Figure it out. Why is that always the resort to? That, like, seriously. Because to me, it's part of what drives the energy of what people think when they come to a bar, too. Like, I'm here to solve my issues. Like, can you just be here to celebrate, to have a good time, you know?
That's why bartenders have to wear so many different hats.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta be the party starter. You gotta be the psychiatrist. You gotta be, the dad. Hey, I think you've had enough. You know what I'm saying? Like
the babysitter.
Right. You gotta do all of that. So, I mean, I think it is perpetuated that way maybe in TV, but I think it's been going on long before TV perpetuated. I mean, there's been bars, saloons, and, things like that for, centuries. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't think it's solely their fault, but they are a big engine in perpetuating that notion that, whenever the chips are down or whenever you need a release, it's alcohol.
Yep.
I would like it to be converted to running.
To what?
To running.
Oh.
Running solves all problems. I'm a bigger runner.
Okay. Really? How many do you do it daily or often?
I've
weekly?
slacked off a little bit, but at a certain point, I was 6 miles a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm a good solid for 1. And I'm always looking at the clock. Is it almost 1 mile yet?
A lot of problems can be solved in 1 mile of running.
What do you feel like is the expected wait time for a bar before they're greeted at a bar? Like, they come up to a bar. What is the expected wait time? Because people are unclear. You got people doing this, like you mentioned. What do you think this is how long you should wait, depending on different scenarios, of course. But what do you think that is?
Well, I would say at the door, walking in the door, should be acknowledged immediately. Within 20 seconds.
Like a nod.
Like a nod. If there's no host there to do it initially, as the person walked through the door, if the bar is door facing, you know what I'm saying? Hi, welcome to Tin Lizzy's. The host will be right with you. At least they know that somebody saw them. Now, even at a bar, you know what I'm saying? If you sit down, but I'm busy with Joe Schmo down here, if you sit down there, I look down, I'm like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Looking
Something
for
like that.
A key way to exit that conversation.
Right. And I do, and that's a great, see, that's another thing. That's one of the things I teach bartenders when I'm training them is you use other people sitting down. If you're getting locked into a conversation that you don't want to be in, you use other people sitting down as, give me 1 second. Whew. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, I've learned over the years that people just want to be acknowledged. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now, there are some people that after you acknowledge them, they want to give you your whole order. But it's like, I just said, what's up? I'll be right there.
Right.
Got you. I just wanted to let you know I see you. So, yeah.
When somebody's ordering something, what are your best tips, I guess, you can advise when someone's ordering, when they're actually ready to place their order? What do you feel like are the best tips? Like, you said earlier, having it ready, first off and foremost, having it ready. Not screaming it. We have guests say, we have guests on the podcast that said, people like, let me get a Long Island. That's not how you talk to. That's not how you ask for Long Island.
Do you guys make Long Islands here?
What's y'all special today?
Yeah, right. Do you got any specials? I think that if you guys will take a notice, and you haven't noticed before, when you go out to eat, whether it be a bar or a restaurant, fine dining, whatever, you will notice that they give you the menu and then walk away. That is a step of service. That is giving you time to look at it first. We will be back for any questions that you may have after you have read the menu. I mean, and for a long time, I was convinced that a lot of people just could not read. No, I mean, it's...
No, but I know what you mean.
Because I will set a menu down in front of somebody at 10 Lizzie's. Hey, I'll be right back. Come back.
Menu still right where it was sometimes.
Is this motion. Let me get the wings. So I was saying.
Or what is the chicken herb entree? And then I literally repeat what's on that. It is roasted chicken with poblano peppers and Italian seasonings with a broth. Like, I would literally read it word for word. And I'm like, you clearly aren't reading this.
Right. So I was convinced for the time. I was like, wait a minute, this is 10 Lizzie's. Where'd you see wings? You know what I'm saying? Or give me the burger.
Oh, wait. There's not even the wings at 10 Lizzie's?
No. I'll take the burger. Like, where? And I'll push it back to him. Where do you see a burger? I don't have my glasses. Okay, well, just say that.
So you know what I'm saying? Obstacles for you too.
Right. No, if you say that, I'll be. Now that's when it comes to. So what are you looking for? What would you like today? And then they get into what are you guys famous for here? What's the best thing you make? Then we can have that conversation. But the reason why I dropped this menu off and said I'll be right back is for you to read it. If you're a quick person, read it, get everything. Let me know all of it's coming out. We good to go. If you got any questions, get them in your head. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait till your BLT burger gets to your table to say, oh, the B stood for bacon? Wait. Sorry.
The B stood? Who doesn't know that a BLT means bacon, lettuce? Oh, I mean, okay, maybe they don't. Bacon, lettuce, tomato. Okay, guys, just FYI, BLT stands for bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Maybe people just don't know that, but they also didn't know that a Long Island iced tea didn't have tea. So I guess I'm not surprised,
But that's fine. I mean, most places, I would say 99% of the places list everything that is in that one item, unless it's a chicken wing. I don't know how many more items to list in a chicken wing. A chicken wing is a chicken wing.
Well, they can ask, is it breaded?
Oh, or is it a whole wing?
Is it a whole wing?
Yeah, you're right. There's two questions.
Is it party wings or whole wings?
But just take the time. Just as we're going to take the time to get your order right, take the time to get your order right.
Yes. When do you find it appropriate to request your tab to be transferred to a table? Or is that completely inappropriate?
You mean from a bar to the table?
From a bar to the table. Like,
Never.
Oh, okay, a guest came, and it's like, oh, I had a drink, I had a couple drinks, my party's here, leaving, can you transfer me over?
Never.
Okay, you heard it first.
That's never. I'm not going to do it. If you ever dine at my bar and move to a table, here, let me get you your tab.
Why is that not okay?
Because
explain to them.
I did all the work to make you whatever you had while sitting at my bar, but when I transfer it to a table, whatever you tip, if you tip, whatever you tip is going to said server, not me. You know what I'm saying? So I did the work to get you to the table. I should be paid for that work or tipped on that work to get you to the table. So, yeah, I'm always going to give you your tab before you go to a table.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah. Agreed. What do you feel like is the protocol for last call? And how do you think you handle guests that don't quite understand your clothes? Like, okay, so you got last call. What is last call? Let's clarify. And I'm saying this because some people don't understand these things. Don't. So that's why I'm asking it so plain and simple. So sometimes the answer is like, girl, you don't know that? No, I know. I want you to tell them what it means. What does last call mean? What's I don't want to say disrespectful, but what's like fighting against what last call is? Disrespectful to last call, not being cognizant. It's last call. So taking that consideration, and then how do you deal with those customers that are staying beyond last call? You know, like what are signs? It's time to leave, babe. It's time to wrap it up.
Right.
What
Wrap
is that?
Shit up, B. Okay, so when I call in my head in any standard where I'm working, if last call is called, I'm going to give you the 10 to 15 minute range to order your last whatever you want. If we're still serving food, if we're still serving drinks, if we still got peppermints, tell me how many of those you're going to need right now, and then I'm going to drop you your tab. So literally what I do is I'll yell last call, and then go to each and every customer that's at the bar and say, anything else for last call? Nope, here's your tab. Anything else for last call? Nope, here's your tab. I'm finalizing our transactions at that point. Now, if you decide to get something for last call, I'm going to give you, I'm not going to sell you a bottle of champagne at last call. You're not getting a bottle of Jack Daniels at last call. No, it's one drink, maybe a couple shots, something like that. But I'm going to give you another 15 minutes to get that down. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm also, and I know a lot of other bartenders, hate this or whatever. You can't kick someone out until you kick everyone out. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just because he paid his tab and he didn't order anything for last call, but he did, he has the same amount of time as him to leave the store. And so that's...
How do you have those conversations when it's time to, it's time to go and they just sit there? What do you say?
So that's what I was going to get to. This is my universal line. Hey, guys, we're now closed and we can't have anybody that does not work in this establishment in here while we're doing money. So I'm going to have to ask you guys to go ahead and exit the building.
It's so funny when you get in that voice where you're trying to be
I'm
polite.
in dad mode.
It's like your voice goes lower, like your octaves go lower and your tone gets lower. Hey guys, it's like you. This is something else I noticed. This is a little off, and this is kind of I don't want to say racist because it's not racist. It's against my own color, but something I've noticed hasn't been a while, but when people of color specifically that are trying to act like I'm out, I'm trying to be, I don't even know. I've noticed specifically with guys that they lower their tone and they'll be like, can I get a whiskey and Coke? And I'll be like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What?
People do like to whisper to the bartender.
And they'll be like, whiskey and Coke. And I'm like, why are you whispering? It's almost like they're trying to be like, I'm trying to do my inside voice, but it's like, wrong place, babe.
Right.
I can't
read the room.
I can't hear you. And it's like they're doing it because I think they think it's polite to talk lower, but it's like, do you not realize I can't hear you? And I'm not trying to be an asshole. I really can't hear you say your order.
There's 800 people in this room. I
want a whiskey and Coke. All right, well, I don't know what you're saying. So can you come help him? I don't know what he's saying. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, it happens all the time. Okay. All the time. It's why are you whispering? Why? You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Just doing the industry thing. As my kids were growing up, true story, I used to take my daughter to Subway after school every Thursday when I picked her up. And she would order an Italian combo with just no veggies, just the meats, the pepperonis, and bacon and mayo. And first couple of times I ordered for her because I knew what she wanted, and I would be like, okay, baby, tell them what you want. May I have an Italian combo? And literally, over the next few weeks, I would be louder. Until it got to the point. Until it got to the point, she'd be like, I want an Italian. She had Megan Thee Stallion hands down. I want an Italian combo. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a thing. I don't know why.
Well, people think like they're being polite. Being polite is being more soft, and it's like Speak up. I
Right.
can't hear you.
Right. You can be loud and polite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What are some clear signifiers for you to cut someone off? Like when do you say you've had enough? What are they doing?
Talking loud in a not loud environment. Being a little too handsy with someone that they don't know, and that's male or female. The slurring of the words is a definite giveaway.
The sleeping at the bar.
Sleeping at the bar, yeah, that's a definite, like, that's a no-no. Like, no.
Absolutely not.
No. If you put your head down,
As soon as
I don't care what kind of day you've had, you have got to go, sir or ma'am. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's, those are the most, now, one thing you can do drunk is over tip.
Oh, we'll take that.
Yeah, all day.
Oh, you were phenomenal. Oh, one thing you can't do, though, is talk about the tip you're going to give and don't give it. Now, people who are advocates about, as soon as they got there, I'm going to tip you good. Those are the people who are not going to tip. So don't talk about what you're going to tip. Be about that money. Let's talk more money. Give me that money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're at work. We're not at work because we like to work. We're at work to make money to pay bills. So that's why I don't feel weird about talking about the amount of money that we're supposed to get, is because we're at work. You expect to get paid when you go to work. We expect to get paid when we go to work. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Yeah, so definitely I was thinking of one thing that I had number 1 in the book of rule books about tipping.
Okay.
I got you, bruh, is not a form of payment. Do not ever pick up your drinks and walk away. And when I go, hey, I got you. I ain't going nowhere. Mm-hmm. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
That's a big no-no.
Leave me a card or something.
Right. Because I don't know you.
We're going to continue a little bit more on this after the break. What's your drink of choice?
Whiskey.
How?
Rock Splash Coke.
Okay, that's why I keep saying Jack and Coke. Jack and Coke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at shot, Grand Marnier all day.
Really?
I drink Grand Marnier all day. That's just something for me and Alberto, like over the years.
Can't.
Yeah.
Grandma.
I even have my friend Tiffany, who we call ourselves the Grandma Twins, because that's all we would drink when we would go out.
Really?
She used to work at Halo and Compound and Opium and all that, but we would go to clubs and buy bottles of Grandma, and people would be like,
"Who are these weirdos?
Who the f*** are these weird?" Like, where a bottle of Jack Daniels, they charge $400 for it. They'd give us a bottle of Grand Marnier for $75, and we would drink the entire bottle.
That's crazy.
Because they look at it as a liqueur.
I know, but still, that's crazy to drink a whole bottle of Grandma. Okay, so I want your opinion. You can start recording at any point because this is open conversation.
Yeah, he's like, I'm ahead of y'all.
I dated this guy, and I had this huge bottle of triple sec at my house, right?
Regular to Kuiper.
Just, yes, basic triple sec.
Okay.
Made to mix with cocktails, not by itself. And then after about like a month, I realized it was gone, and I was like, "Did you drink this bottle of triple sec?" He was like, "Yeah, I did." And I was like, "So you just drank?" You're telling me you just drank triple sec by itself? Like,
really?
He was like, "Yeah, it was good." And I was like, "You have a problem, and I need to dump you because that is a problem." Who's drinking triple sec by itself?
The same guy who is the cousin of the guy who drinks blue curacao. But
people are still drinking. People drink blue curacao by itself.
Amaretto.
I mean, okay, amaretto sour. Okay, I'll give you that. But after a couple, most people will stop because it's like, what am I drinking? You know, after two, it's just like
sugar.
They're just drinking it to say, I had a drink. You know, it's mostly a girl. You know, having a cocktail. I've had 2. That was enough.
Well, see, there's a progression of liqueurs. I mean, you got De Kuiper, triple sec. Then you got Grand Marnier. I mean, which has added, bourbon. I mean, cognac and stuff. But then you have the type of amaretto
Mm-hmm.
to make amaretto sours, but then you have DC Orono.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So they're just breaking it down to the roots.
But do they really know that that's
No,
breaking
they
it down to the
don't.
roots? They just see
No,
a
they
bottle of
don't.
alcohol and being fucking drunks and
They-
being like, oh, mouthwash? I'll have this with a splash of tonic. That's what I be thinking sometimes. Are people like, if you're willing to drink a bottle of triple sec, are you willing to drink mouthwash or rubbing alcohol?
Hey, it's hard times in prison, okay? So
It's
you gotta
not even-
you gotta get that scope drunk. If you gotta be scope Listerine drunk, then you gotta be scope Listerine drunk.
I always think about that. Will I ever get that desperate? Never. Okay. Another last thing that I want to talk about in the bar etiquette segment is not getting too drunk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, what does that even really mean? What does it mean to not get too drunk? We're judging our guests on how well they're handling their liquor.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's some advice that you can give to listeners to help them handle their liquor, stop when you need to stop, or at least come off like you got it together? Like, what is that?
Now we're talking about guests or bartenders.
Hey, we can talk about both. Let's talk about guests. What do you want to talk about first?
Guests.
Okay. Let's talk about guests first. Get that out of the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just obvious. Well, it's obvious to me. It's, you know, when you see the signs. If you see your friends are getting drunk and you're not so much, but you know you've had the same amount as them, maybe it may be a time for you to slow down because you might got to drive. You know what I'm saying? I don't suggest you drive. I suggest you all get in an Uber.
Uber.
It's your friend.
Uber.
Yes, indeed.
Uber.
Don't put anyone else's
Uber.
life at risk for your overindulgence.
Yes.
But
There is that point in the night. I do
There-
agree with you saying.
yeah, there's a point, and if you're grabbing for your drink and anybody that's around you is like, you know what I'm saying? That might be like, hey, you've been exhibiting some behavior to make other people think that you've had too much. Maybe you should chill.
So the examples you're giving are when people are with other people. But what if
Yeah.
you're by yourself?
Don't know, because alcohol is a real delayed reaction.
It is.
It's just like eating an edible. You don't know you've had too much until you've had too much.
Oh, gosh.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of hard. You gotta kind of know. It's reading your room and reading yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because you had 7 Jack and Cokes the other day. Oh God, I keep saying Jack and Coke. It's not
That's
just
a
because you
drink,
had
guys.
7 Jack and Cokes the day before. You can't go out and have 7 again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be mindful of that, man.
I think some things to pay attention to help yourself not get too drunk is eat. Okay? So eat. Eat some food before you drink.
Definitely that,
If
because
you
it
see
does
your-
slow down the process.
Yeah. If you're drinking drink water, Technically, you're supposed to have a glass of water with each drink you have.
Mhm.
Is that actually happening? No.
No, it's
So
not.
if you have any water at all, God bless you.
Mhm.
Good job. You're headed in the right direction.
And I will tell you this.
What?
Water does not mean that you can drink more. Water does nothing
Tell
for
me that again when I'm drunk, because I don't. I'm like, water sober me up. Fuck water.
Water does not sober you up. It's a fact. It does not sober you up.
Mm-hmm.
What it does, it paces you. Because in that time that it's taking you to drink that water, you're not drinking another drink.
Mm-hmm.
So you're letting the drinks that you've had before metabolize and go ahead and get through your system.
Mm-hmm.
And the water's going to help you flush out. So it's not flushing all of it out, but it's helping that what wants to come out. So yeah, pace yourself.
Yeah.
Take that water break, like the Crown Royal commercials. Water break.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see those?
No.
Yeah, they had a campaign called Water Break.
I'm here for that. They need
Yeah.
to do that more, because I think too we're always like frowned upon, like, don't break the seal, don't use the restroom, but it's like you gotta use the restroom because you drank water. Let it flush out.
Yeah.
Drink some more water. You'll be good. I think eating and drinking water and
Those
yeah.
are pertinent.
not switching spirits too sometimes help. Now, if you're a vet sometimes and you've been at it for a long time, you can move around. If you're dealing with high quality spirits, you know, you can play around, you know. Oh, I'm mixing bourbon and rum, and I'm drinking scotch and this aged tequila.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you up here though. But if you just down here, when I'm not saying it on the person. I'm saying literally the quality of liquor that you're drinking. Don't be moving around a lot. If you're drinking bourbon, if you're drinking dark, stay dark. If you drink it, because I definitely did an experiment. I did after having a conversation with some people. They were like, "Is it a myth, or is it true that you should stick with the same liquor?" And you know, if you're drinking clear, stay clear, and if you're drinking whiskey, say whiskey. Is that a myth? And I was like, I'm about to test it out tonight, and I tested it out, and let me tell you, don't do it.
So what is it, the sick factor or is it the drunk factor?
The sick factor. It has nothing to do with the drunk factor. I mean, you're going to get drunk depending on how much you drink, but it's the sick factor. Like, how sick will you be if you mix liquor? It's not about you mixing liquor. It's about the quality of what you're drinking.
Mm-hmm.
If you're drinking like, oh, I'm drinking Herrador Ultra, and I'm drinking Woodford Reserve Double Oak Bourbon, and I'm drinking, I don't know, give me another one.
Absolutely Licks.
Absolutely Licks. And you're like having cocktails, and they're mixed by mixologists who's making these cocktails, not like shots. You know what I mean? And you're tasting, and you're like experiencing, and you're sipping. To me, you can experiment and have different, because I've done it, and I've been like, oh, I'm fine. But when you're just drinking just your well or even your call, you know, and you're just doing whatever the no, you're not going to make it out alive. And so I just highly suggest you stay with one color. At minimum, if you hear anything I'm saying, stay with one color. One color, dark or light.
Shout out Long Island iced tea drinkers.
Okay, last question. Do you feel like the craft is lost? Now, I'm asking this because I hear a lot of people in our industry, especially in our era. I know we're not necessarily the same age, but I would say same era. That says the craft is lost. The craft is lost. But to me, the craft must have been lost, because when I started, which is also sounds like the same time we started together, I didn't recall a requirement to be a successful bartender in Atlanta. So I think about when I'm coming up bartending, no one was teaching me how to be a crafty bartender personally. They were just teaching me how to make the drinks for the type of crowd that I was serving. And there wasn't a lot of consistent educational efforts made at all. But I also just feel like that was the type of bars that I worked in, and also the community of people that I was around. But I now, especially since I own Spirit and Soul Mobile Bar Co., shout out, I have to intentionally insert myself into these communities of bartenders who take more pride in their craft and who stays up to date with the trends and who cultivates the industry, because I'm doing the same, right? Because it's important to the relevance of this and the successfulness of Spirit and Soul. All that to say is I realize that I don't think the craft is lost. I just think that you don't have to take a lot of initiative to make good money in Atlanta as a bartender. And I don't know. I wanted to know what you felt about that, because I hear that a lot. The craft is lost. The craft is lost. Is it lost necessarily?
I don't feel like the craft is lost. Nightlife changes. You know what I'm saying? And if you didn't change with the nightlife, like if you were working at Visions and it was popping. Visions or Kaya, the nightclubs in Atlanta where bartenders were getting it in.
Lame.
And they closed down, and then you went to work at Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, the craft changed because you changed into a different environment. I would say, and I know a lot of bartenders like this, because sometimes I find myself drifting into it. The craft hasn't changed. You just got older. The youngsters out there are still out there doing the same shit that the youngsters are out there doing when you were the youngster.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. I relate to that.
You can't expect everybody to move up on your level. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect a year one bartender to come in to your 13-year bartending world and act the same as you. Now, there are prodigies like that, and you'd be like, whoa. And you quickly scoop those people up and be like, you know what? And, shout out to Avery. But, it's just because you get older, you know more. You accumulate more knowledge, you accumulate more skills, and you feel like the trend is going up here. But these people down here are still doing what these people down here are doing. So Yeah, I honestly, I don't think the craft has changed.
Me
It's just,
either.
yeah,
Okay.
not at all. We just get old in the industry.
Yeah, and
know?
I can't say that I had these craft like talents and whatnot when I was younger. When I was younger, I also didn't give a. I was trying to make money. Not until I was older did I realize, hey, this is actually cool, and doing my research actually matters, and I can see how it impacts the customer experience, my experience, and my passion with it. So yeah, I also agree. Um, we have a speed round. This is the last set of questions. So answer like within the next like 10 seconds. You've been really good about answering things pretty fastly. So let's go. We'll skip that one. We'll save it for last. We also asked that question also. Who's your favorite wing place in the city? Where do you like to eat wings?
Jack's.
Really?
Jack's has the best wings in Atlanta.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I used to work at Jack's for like a year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just best
seriously.
Wings. Yeah, hands down.
Still?
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't been there in a while.
What's a while?
Probably like a year and a half because it got a little too rowdy.
Okay.
Yeah,
it
but
can be rowdy sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Jack's wings. They do have a lot of different varieties, I would say. What's your biggest pet peeve when working?
Oh, hold on. You got to be a little bit more.
Okay. When you're working behind the bar, what's the thing that frustrates you the most? It can be related to the guests or it can be related to your coworkers. Like, what frustrates you the most when you go into work and you're like, I got to deal with this shit tonight?
Okay.
What is
so
it?
I'll give you one on both ends, and it's going to be real quick. If it's a coworker, I hate anybody. My pet peeve is somebody that runs away from the fire, that runs away from the battle. When you see a bunch of people coming to the bar and you run and hide. I hate that. Let's go in the battle together. We're going to work through it. Let's go. From a customer, there's a lot of things, but I would say really one thing that crawls under my skin, and it's just new. So I hate to be called friend.
Hey, friend.
Oh.
I think about that all the time when I'm texting
I will
someone.
shut you down. I am not your goddamn friend.
You know what? I think about that when I'm texting people that I haven't texted in a long time. I'm just like, hey, girl, hey, or hey, friend, or hey, doll.
Yeah, but if you're really friends, that's different.
But still, it's like this. It's this saying. Hey, friend.
I would rather be called Unc, and no old guy wants to be called Unc.
Okay.
But friend, just gets under my skin.
Really? Don't call him friend. He's not your friend unless he tells you that he is your friend. Okay. What establishment do you feel like is extremely underrated? In this season, we'll say right now, like we're in summer, and like, what do you feel like is underrated right now? That should be getting more.
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
Is it a few?
No, because Cypress Street.
Oh.
Cypress Street Pint and Plate.
The one with the bonfire out in the front? Okay.
Yeah.
I
feel like it's really, really, really underrated. We used to go there a lot back in the day, but it's kind of like a hidden gem now.
Sometimes I like those. Keep them right there.
Cypress and the Wheeling.
Okay.
The Wheeling in West Midtown. Yeah.
It hasn't always been there.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the 11th Street. Every corner of Atlanta has their own 11th Street pub. Like Midtown has.
So what's so significant about the 11th Street pub that you can say that and say everyone has an 11th Street pub? What is it? What
where the servers, bartenders, when we get off of work, where we go to get on other servers and bartenders' nerves because they're usually open later. You know, they have great prices on drinks. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of shot specials and stuff like that. So when we're unpacking our baggage, we go to places like 11th Street, the Wheeling, Elbow Room, Jack's, when Jack's was open for all the people that work in Inman Park.
It's not open anymore?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're serving liquor anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's BYOB or something like that.
BYOB? That sounds scandalous.
I think so.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. But places where other people who have had a hard time with guests go to unpack, and you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Okay. What's your cocktail of choice this season? We kind of talked about this off the record, but you can say it on the camera now.
What, Jack and Coke?
Yeah.
Well, Jack and Coke is my favorite. But my cocktail for the season is mine, actually. I impressed myself. I honestly did.
I wish I
impress
can just
myself.
have one of those.
I got you a whole carafe coming.
Okay, I'm not kidding.
You're just gonna need to shake it over ice and
All right,
serve.
I'm ready.
I
I'm
got
not.
you.
I'm gonna hold you to
I
it.
got you.
Atlanta brunch. Where do you go, or what's your opinion on brunch if you don't go to brunch?
I don't go to brunch. I would love to, because I work every Sunday. I have worked every Sunday for the last 6 years. So I don't get a chance to go to brunch. But if I do, it's maybe a lesser known fact, not an unknown fact, but I'm a hookah whore.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Like so many in
yeah,
Atlanta.
I mean, I don't do mimosas and all that, but I do love a good orange man hookah, Aaron. Yeah, I love a good orange man hookah.
If you could bring anyone back to life to enjoy a cocktail, who would it be with and why?
Sorry.
It's okay.
My mom.
Oh, wow.
Because my mom introduced me to so many things about the bar industry.
Uh-huh.
Even when I didn't even want to know them. She just passed like 2.5 years ago.
Oh,
but,
wow.
like,
That's recent.
in my years of being grown and having my kids, you know, she was like my drinking buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would love for her to be able to taste.
Oh, wow. Especially your winning cocktail.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry at all. What did she drink? What was her drink of choice?
Near the end of her days of drinking, she was big on Grey Goose. And actually, for her 70th birthday party, I drove to Kentucky to bartend it for her because we had a private party in an event space. But I actually got Tito's to sponsor it for her.
Okay.
So they gave me all the liquor, all the swag, everything, you know what I'm saying, for my mom's 70th birthday party. She was a big vodka drinker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vodka.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to have one of those for her. That's
Indeed.
special. That's really special. And any last things you want to share with the people as far as bar etiquette, Tin Lizzie's, On the Rocks, your brand, anything you want to ask me, anything?
Well, I got a lot of questions for you, but that's probably off camera about your bartending business because I feel like I slack on my outside bartending business because I work for so many other people so many days of the week. Mm-hmm. But definitely I'm making a bigger push right now for On the Rocks to become a more prevalent name in Atlanta.
Okay.
For private because I have two other partners, but you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody always wants to book Midtown Jay. I need you to book On the Rocks to book Midtown Jay. You know what I'm saying? So,
and for Midtown Jay to come and actually be the bartender at On the Rocks, that's an extra set of money. You know?
Got to pay to play. But I mean, as far as etiquette, just tip. I mean, even if you're gonna tip bad, just tip. Don't be the no tipper. Like, that's just the bottom of the shoe scum. Like, just don't do that because you want what you want from us. Like, it's $1 a tip. You know what I'm saying? At the least.
20%.
You know, 20% at the least, but, you know. I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was good. I enjoyed my conversation with you.
I enjoyed it as
learned a lot about you. We're very similar, actually, about a lot of things.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
We should have met longer. You know what?
Seriously, this whole time.
Mike versus Alex. He did not introduce us earlier.
Yeah, honestly, that's crazy. Anywho, thank you for tuning in to Spirit and Soul Podcast. Please make sure you follow us on IG at Spirit and Soul Podcast on IG. We're also on Spotify and Apple and YouTube and all those things. So, yeah, stay tuned for more conversations like this with bartenders local to Atlanta, learning about our lifestyles, our personalities. We're just so much more than these cocktails. But we also have cocktails, though. Yes. We're going to give you cocktails. And I'm going to get that recipe and make sure you get that, too.
Gotcha.
The ATL. Mm-hmm. The ATL. Mm-hmm. T spelled out. But yeah, cheers. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.